It was supposed to be over in months. World War I, or as they called it then, the Great War, began in 1914 and ended in 1918. It didn't just redraw maps, it destroyed empires, scarred a generation, and planted the seeds of another, even deadlier conflict. Over 16 million dead, 21 million wounded, all sparked by one moment, one bullet. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was assassinated in Sarajevo by a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb nationalist, Gavrilo Princip. Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia. When Serbia resisted, Austria-Hungary declared war. But this was no isolated incident. Within days, alliances triggered a domino effect. Germany backed Austria-Hungary, Russia defended Serbia, France supported Russia, and Britain joined to protect Belgium. What should have been a regional conflict ignited a global war. Germany launched the Schlieffen Plan, a rapid invasion of France through neutral Belgium. This act brought Britain into the war. By the end of 1914, the major powers of Europe were engulfed. Two massive fronts emerged, the Western Front in France and Belgium, and the Eastern Front between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia. Soon the war reached beyond Europe, to Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and eventually the oceans and skies. The Western Front collapsed into a stalemate. From the North Sea to Switzerland, soldiers dug trenches. Hundreds of miles of mud, rats, barbed wire, and death. Life in the trenches was miserable. Shell shock, gas attacks, constant barrage of artillery and machine guns made crossing no man's land almost suicidal. Battles like Verdun, the Somme, and Passchendaele became symbols of senseless slaughter. Millions died, often for just a few meters of ground. Meanwhile, the war spread. The Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers. The British Empire fought in the Middle East and recruited troops from India, Africa, and Australia. In 1917, the United States entered the war after repeated German U-boat attacks and the infamous Zimmermann telegram. New technologies reshaped combat: tanks, airplanes, flamethrowers, and poison gas. This wasn't just a war of men. It was a war of industry, science, and total mobilization. By 1917, both sides were exhausted. In Russia, revolution ended Tsarist rule. The Bolsheviks, led by Lenin, withdrew from the war after the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Germany, now focused solely on the Western Front, launched a final offensive in 1918. But with fresh American troops and crumbling German morale, the Allies pushed back. On November 11, 1918, at 11 o'clock a.m., the guns fell silent. An armistice was signed. The Great War was over. But peace came with a price. At the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, Germany was blamed for the war, forced to pay reparations, give up territory, and disarm. The League of Nations was formed to prevent future wars. But the treaty left Germany humiliated. Italy and Japan, though on the winning side, felt overlooked. Colonial nations who had fought and died saw no independence. World War I destroyed 4 empires: the German Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Russian Empire. It ushered in revolutions, economic crises, and a fragile peace. A generation was lost, an entire continent left in ruin, and in that broken ground, the roots of World War II began to grow. They called it the war to end all wars. But it wasn't. Instead, it taught us how fragile civilization is, how quickly progress can be undone. World War I was not just a European tragedy, it was a human tragedy. We remember not just the battles, but the lives lost, the lessons learned, and the warning it gave. This was World War I, the war that shaped a century.